everybody, I'm Monica Reynolds. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry everything. So let's have a great call today. And here's what I know. After 45 years in the real estate business, coaching more agents than anyone in the country and assistants, 26 years of coaching, I've got the numbers of calls you can't even believe. Here's what I want you to know. Turning the corner to 2025 is going to be a phenomenal year for you if you pay attention to 3 of your systems and start thinking between now and January 1st, what do you need to tweak? So today we're going to talk about those tweaks. So if you go to the next slide real quickly, because we're Keller Williams, you have to be very careful about the TCPA. A lot of money has been spent in fines that people have had to pay. I know of one agent that had to pay recently $1,500. So be very, very careful. And the next slide again is on the do not call list again. If they don't want to be called, don't call them. All right, moving on. Okay, so here's the good news. Don't get frustrated. I speak really fast and we go through a lot of slides. Monica at monicareynolds.com. If you want a copy of the slides, you will get that. The copy of the recording will also be available on YouTube. And Bella, if you could put in there how they get the recording, that would be terrific. Now, Monica and monicareynolds.com, we will send you the slides today and a few other things that are coming up. All right, next slide. So Gary Keller said the systems have to be more powerful than the people. People are interchangeable. Your assistant may come and go. Your buyer agent may come and go. The assistant may go to a buyer agent. Buyer agents, I have heard, sometimes go into the admin world. They're interchangeable. They do different things. They become a sales manager. They become a listing manager. You have a problem when the people are more powerful than the systems, meaning I've got a great admin, I'm not sure what they're doing. I've got systems, but I really don't know where they are. So we're going to talk about solving those issues coming up. First slide is really important. The next one, I want to talk to you about deal stacking. And no one understands this more than me about deal stacking. So when you take a listing, it's 6 transactions. You're going, what? 6 transactions? Yes. Think 6. And when you have it in your listing checklist, did the seller give you a referral? Did you talk about the promise? We'll talk about that. Did you ask for a referral from the referral you got? So number 1 is you get a referral from the seller during your listing period. Number 2, you hold an open house purposely looking for a buyer at that open house. Number 3, you look for a seller with a just listed letter, just door knocking, inviting them to the open house. You're looking for a seller in the neighborhood. When one house goes up, we know another one is coming up also, right? And then the listing sells. That's the 4th transaction. Number 5, the just sold letter, the golden letter, door knocking. So we will send you the just listed letter. We will send you the golden letter if you don't have the golden letter. So basically when you look at the just listed letter, which is a very simple letter, it basically says, dear neighbor, I've decided to sell my home and we're moving to and blah, blah, blah. And lived here for 12 years in the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And so at the end of a listing presentation, you're going to say to the seller, I have a unique opportunity after they've signed the listing. I'd like to send a letter on your behalf to the neighbors. It'll be in a white envelope with your return address. And you say to the seller, if you got that in your mailbox, what would you think? Well, I'd open it up. Well, it's going to say that you've decided to sell. And if they know of anyone who's thinking about buying, because we'll find someone who wants to upgrade to your house. We might find someone who has a friend or a family member, or they're going to buy a house for their kids. I mean, it happens. So let's go after your neighbors first and let them go out and tell people in the world your house is for sale. And when you get that envelope, I know if when I get an envelope from one of my neighbors, I go, uh-oh, my dogs are barking. What's going on? So again, people are more interested. Is it going to go in the garbage? Yeah, but it's branding. And then you send it just sold. But look at transaction number 6. The seller buys a new home. So maybe the seller is going to move out of area and living in an RV. Who knows? Who cares? Whatever. You didn't get involved in that part. But you got 5 other opportunities. You got 4, you got 3, you got 2. One transaction should be 6 in your thinking. Look at the buyer. The buyer gives you a referral. You door knock, often remember keeping compliant. When you're door knocking, though, you're not calling those streets. You're door knocking, which is okay. They open the door, they don't, right? And emailing, mailing expires, past expires, buyer buys. So you're going to find listings when you have a buyer. You're going to find opportunities for future listings when you have a buyer. The buyer buys. You do a housewarming party, you meet the neighbors. So I would say to a buyer, John and Betty, when you purchase your home, if you would like, in the next 90 days, we'd like to have a housewarming party for you to meet some of the neighbors. And then you give us a list of your friends and family, coworkers, whoever you want to invite. We'll bring the wine and cheese. We'll bring the beverages. All you have to do is just tell us and we'll send out the invites. What am I doing? I'm building my database with their friends and family because I sold their home. I should know everybody you know. See how you deal stack. That's deal stacking. Okay, moving on. So let's talk about what the 3 foundational systems are. You got to have a listing system. You got to have a buyer system and you got to have a database. Now, I'm about 21 systems and things that I say you also need that break out from hiring to onboarding to offboarding to client experience, customer service. Client for life. All of those are great. But right now, we're going to talk about listing and buyer and database. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was going to come look at your systems today and I would rate them for you, and being the perfectionist that I am on some things, how would you rate? Would you rate a 10? I'd love to see it if you do. So let's see how you do. The next slide. So on listings, we're going to break it down to lead generation. What are you doing to get lead generation? There's your golden letter right there. There's a story. This is a true story. Nothing annoys me more than this story, probably in my entire career. There's a 21-year-old in back east that made $1 million his first year. Who does that? How many years has it taken me to get to $1 million? A long time. How many years has it taken you to get there, or you're not there yet? He did it 1 year, his first year out. And all he did was send that letter out 300 letters per week. Well, okay, let's say that's a $1,200 investment. He made $1 million. And every quarter he send it back to that same area again. So again, what are you doing for lead generation? Past clients, center of influence, circle prospecting, probate. Probate is never going away. That's a solid business. Out of area owners, they own property, they don't live in the area. That's a solid business. Open houses, solid. Referrals from current seller, the golden letter. So what are you doing to lead generate for more listings? And don't forget about your past clients in center of influence. When you say they're all tucked in for the next few years in their house, something happens called life. Life happens. Okay, let's look at the next one. All right. So the next one is B, the listing checklist and process. You need a strong listing checklist that is bulletproof. I even have on there their personality type on a disc, DISC. PC stands for past client. Okay. And so when you're looking at all of these things and you look at your listing checklist, where's the source of business? Who are the players? Name, address, phone number, and email. Did those go in your database? So that checklist is bulletproof and nothing is left to chance. Every single thing is on there. As silly as it is, like confirming that the sign is up with the seller, check it off with a date. Pass the baton. I'm going to share this with you. And you always want to send a thank you to the seller at the process, during the process, and absolutely when it goes into pending and after pending. But let's talk about pass the baton. So when you have a team or an assistant, or even for yourself, get clear. What is the motivation? Are they happy? Are they sad? There's a death in the family. There's illness. They're excited. They got a job promotion. They're retiring. They're excited. What's the reason for the sale? Do they have pets? Yes, no. Do they have kids? Yes, no. 2 kids are soccer stars. What if they have a pet, true story, named Tank? Now, Tank is a 250-pound Rottweiler. And was he a great family member? Only family member they have, no children. He had a couch that he watched dog TV on all day long. He had his own bedroom next to their bedroom. He had his own bedding. It was amazing. So instead of my assistant saying, because I passed the baton giving her this information, this takes 1 minute, 46 seconds to fill out when your assistant asks you these questions, or if you are a high C, you can fill them out yourself. Me, I'm a high D, I'm not filling it out, but I'll tell you what the deal is. So with that said, when she said, and this is customer service, do you have any pets on the premise? This is customer experience. I heard you have a wonderful family member named Tank. I'd love to meet that guy. I guess he loves TV all day. That's awesome. See, so that's the customer experience. That's building that bridge, that networking, where they're going to be excited to help you out, helping you find another referral. That is a critical piece. So make sure that, the showing instructions and different things, a just listed letter going out, flyers, brochures, open houses, etc. This is how you start a file. If you are giving it to someone on your team, don't throw the file down and say, process it. Say, here's what you need to know, because that person can't call and be Miss Happy Happy, or Mr. Happy Happy calling, hey, thanks for listing your house. We're excited to talk to you. Do you have a few minutes? Not in a divorce, not in a death, not in an illness, not when they lost their jobs. You go in low key. So there is a difference there. Okay, let's go to the second part of this. Listing communication. All right. You're not going to like this, but this is what it is. If you want to build a strong relationship where you do get a referral out of that, and you also get their friends and family to that they're going to say, you've got to use this agent, they're amazing. It's called the 3-week honeymoon. That is coming up next. You give them a CMA weekly, a weekly update with a CMA. So when I go out on a listing presentation, I would say to the seller, and I'd have 2 copies. One for the wife, one for the husband, one for me. And I'd say, keep this copy. It's dated at the top. My job is like a stockbroker. I watch what's listed, sold, canceled, expired, and withdrawn. In the next 2 weeks, we will have had showings and an offer, or we will have had no showings, or we've had showings and unfortunately no offer. So let me start that over again. In the next 2 weeks, if we've had lots of showings, or no showings and no offer, the market is saying that we're not at the right price. The market determines the price. My marketing works to expose it. My marketing will get your home sold. The only thing we're testing is the price. And every week, we are going to send you a new market evaluation, which will say how many more homes came up on the market that are competition, what sold, what went under contract, so that you are absolutely in tune with what's happening in the market. In this day and age, you take a listing, you're going to take a price reduction in most cases before you get it sold. And I know all of you will agree with that. So you set them up that you are the guru of information. You set them up that you document things, that you can prove to them how the market changed. True story. Listed a property, and it was in 2010, and I'll never forget, the market jumped. Within 2 weeks. There were 12 listings in that development that just came on board in the springtime. That made a huge difference for them because they were no longer number one, is priced competitively. You have to be number one in the market to be sold in this market. And when people understand that and they can see the data, you can easily get them to the right price reduction. Let's look at the 3-week honeymoon next. So I say, call them every day. And you're going, what? Well, you call them every day. Not you, your assistant, but if it's just you, you're not going to call them every day because you're an agent looking for new business. I know. What? Ozzy says what? So you as a real estate agent should call a minimum 1 week. 2 would be better. Twice a week would be better. Touch base with them on Tuesday, touch base with them on Friday, so that you're not getting the weekend calls where they get stressed out and go, well, what's happening? We don't have any showings. What's the marketing you're doing? Do you think we should do another open house? What do you think we should be doing next? You'll not get those calls if you are proactive. If you have an assistant, there's a reason to call every day. There's a reason to call every day. And so you have this. So for example, what if on this particular one, what if your assistant called within 1 hour? Obviously, you came back to the office. If it's after 3 o'clock, they'll call in the morning. And then just thank you letter is sent out. You call the seller to confirm the property preview, the pest appointment, whatever you've got going on. All of that is done, the sign going up. There's so many reasons to call 5 times in 5 days. There's so many reasons. Wanted to let you know we've ordered the sign. It'll be coming up. Do you have any questions? Great. It's part of our customer service. We're going to reach out to you often. You don't say every day. You say often. And so you look at this list, and if you notice by week 2, we're preparing them now for that price reduction. If you aren't getting a price reduction in the first 2 or 3 weeks, you've got an overpriced listing and you're lying to the seller. You're not giving them the option to change their price. And I always say, I respect your decision. This is your home and your decision. I just want to give you the information. It's not a pretty picture. Here's what happens. We've got 2 new listings and they are extremely competitive against your home. And here's my recommendation. So remember, you have to be the guru of information. You've got to know your stats. How many listings were taken in your marketplace yesterday? How many sold? How many went under contract? How many closed? How many price reductions? When you start to learn those stats every day, you start to see trends and patterns, and then you can tell your sellers. Okay. All right, great. Okay, look at the next one. Let's go to buyers. Okay, so now don't be overwhelmed. You've got some system on the listings, just make it better. The buyers, lead generation, past client, SOI, circle prospecting, open house, door knocking, Facebook ads, referral from current buyer clients. You're sending out an email to your database. I'm working this weekend. Please stop by. Bring your friends, family, or pass this email on to anyone thinking about purchasing a home. Come see the house. There's a lot of people who make an open house an event. They'll have like a cookie truck or something like that, or they're giving away something. So make it, an event in some cases. Buyer communication is daily. You never get a buyer out of your car without saying to that buyer, thank you. Let's schedule our next appointment. I'm sorry we missed the mark today. Let's schedule that we get together on Friday. Now, you don't know what you're going to show them on Friday. You might take them to new construction and they don't want. You may take them to out of area they don't want. Guess what? They're probably going to end up buying what they don't want. They usually do. Listen to this very carefully. You must never get off the phone that you haven't agreed to a time that you're going to meet or have another conversation. You never show a property that you don't have the next time to get back in the car if they're not writing an offer. You don't say, well, let me do some more checking and I'll get back to you, this week. No, let's set a time for Friday and I'll come up with some more homes for you to take a look at. That's how you do it. Okay. Let's go to the next slide, please, sir. Thanks, Chris. Buyer process. You got to have a value proposition in this day and age. And if you don't have a value proposition, we'll send you one. So Chris, make a note. We'll send them the value proposition in this slide. In your value proposition, what are you doing for that buyer? What are you going to do that's so different? And you have to absolutely get all the buyer broker agreements signed. And the buyer package. Do you have a buyer package? And so this is part of the commitment on the value proposition here. But if you want it in a different format, we can send that to you too. The key thing that I want all of you to hear, you have to know why someone would want to sign a buyer broker agreement with you. One of the reasons is that we say we will door knock the streets you want. We will door knock the area you want. We will do everything to identify that property for you off market. So we work 7 days a week. We're always available to you. So, you do when you're a buyer agent, you just do. That's what you do. And, the key thing about all of that is you have to have it. You sell your value proposition before you say, legally, I need to go through this document with you and how we get compensated. That's it. Okay. All right, moving on. Let's go to database, shall we? Database. That is the only thing that you have of an asset. And if you don't have it in your schedule, 1 hour a week to work on your database, do that. And if you're a rainmaker with 15 assistants or 1 or 2, I don't care how many you have, you as a rainmaker need to look at that database once in 1 hour a week. This is your bank account. We call it a data bank, okay? And the goal is to get to 5,000 completes, name, address, phone number, and email. Now, 35% of your business. So let's say that you did, and I'm just using this number because it's easy for me, 100 transactions. 35 of them should have been referrals. Any more than that, you don't have enough new business coming in. And less than that, you've got a lot of opportunities. Okay. So when you look at 35% of your business should be referrals, how many agent referrals did you get this year? If I said to you and I was coaching you today, I'd say double that, double that. How will you double that? What are you not doing? Do you have a tag in your command or CRM that says this is the agent tag? These are my agent referrals. These are the people I've met at events. These are the people I met at family reunion. These are the people these are the agents that have sent me referrals. So if you got 3 this year, how do you get 6? How do you get 9? What are you not doing that you should do? Where are you not networking that you should? Past clients, they should be giving you referrals. It's different than SOI. So someone says to me, well, I get 35% referrals from my database. Oh, good for you. What are the categories? What do you mean? They're referrals. And I go, no, what are the categories? You have to email me. Thanks. I can't capture all these emails. I'm not going to go back. You email me if you came in late, Monica@monicareynolds.com. And we are going to send you the slide and everything else. Thanks, Chris. All right. Agent, PC, SOI, vendor. Okay, so SOI are people who you have not sold a home to, but they're influential, they're friends of yours, they're not moving, but they're giving you their friends and family. Vendor, a vendor, someone who makes money off of your efforts. Hey, lender, here's the deal. Hey, title company, here's the deal. Hey, home warranty. Hey, inspector. Hey, plumber. Hey, electrician. Who are the people that you support that are passengers on your bus and not partners? So you want to sit down with them and say, here's my business plan for next year. Don't give them a copy of it. You keep it. And I'm asking, and I'm pledging all my business to you. All I need you to do is to give me 1 referral per quarter and support my client events. Your team, your assistant should be bringing you at least 4 referrals from their friends and family. So I tell my assistants, here's your salary. I want you to make more on referrals. Now, if you're licensed, I'll pay you 25% on your friends and family and coworkers from past coworkers, not my database, but yours. And every single person that joins my team brings me a list of 300 names. Somebody says, well, I really don't know that many people. Oh, yeah, you do. Pull out your phone. Go down to contacts at the end. How many contacts you have? Oh, I have 700. You have 700? What about your spouse? What about your fiance? What about your friend? What, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. How about your Facebook? I was shocked when someone told me they had 2,500 people in their Instagram. What? So they had a big Instagram following. And I said, well, let's let them know that you're in real estate and they can reach out to you. No matter where they are in the country, we can help them. So let's figure out something there. So what is your percentage there? And then whatever you did this year, look at the totals where your business came from in referrals and double it and say, I did that passively. Now I'm going to do this proactively or aggressively, if you like that word too. Okay. So let's look at the next one, database goals. You want a total of 5,000 completes, name, address, phone number, and email. Okay, you want to put in a field and in command, I've talked to some RT people, regional tech trainers with Keller Williams, and in every CRM, no matter what you're using, follow up boss, whatever, you can put a field in there with a $sign. If you get anything out of this call to create the value of your database, start putting in the compensation you received on that client. So John Smith sold him a house. He was a Marion man. The women kept getting younger that he married, and he kept getting older, and he kept getting richer. He was an oil man when I first sold real estate in North Dakota, and then I moved to California and sold real estate. I think I earned in the 80s, I earned over $70,000 or $80,000, which is a lot of money then, when your average sales price was around $150,000. That I earned from him. He kept getting married every year practically, and yet he was one of my best clients. And so when you're going through your database and you're saying things like to your past clients, hey, happy holidays, great working with you. Do you have any real estate questions? And then you say, can I share something with you? I have a goal to help 50 families with the American dream next year. I'd love to ask you if you have any friends or family, would you let me know? Do you mind if I check in with you from time to time? Now I'm talking to this guy and I go, you know what? He's bought 2 houses. My average commission is 10,000. I'll put 20,000. Oh yeah. His sister gave me a referral. He get referral on his sister. I think she was about 6,000. Okay. 26,000. So make up a number. Nobody's going to grade you or check your work, but I sold them 2 houses, basically this. So, oh yeah, this guy gave me a referral, put it in there. Start to track the value of each client. Ultimately, when you want to step to the side, back, or out of your business, you will now have a very valuable database. No one hardly ever does this. You guys be the exception. Put that $sign in there when you're talking to people. Put in a number that you've just figured out. Moving forward, everybody gets assigned a number as your transactions close. You got to be compliant on all of these things, but you're going to do a client appreciation party. Okay. In a client appreciation party, you do one a quarter. What I love is when an agent will send out Happy New Year, save the dates. We have a shredding party in May. Bring your documents. We'll shred them. We'll be in the Market Center parking lot. We have a pie giveaway in November. Start putting the dates down so that they know what's happening. We have what I like to see is a Halloween party where HOWL, where you bring your dog dressed up in a costume to the park and we have a contest. You don't want to do kids and single out a kid that they had the best costume because the other kids go home crying and then it causes a problem. So don't do that. One agent did that. She had a nightmare on her hands. What if you emailed once a month? What if you did a video once a month? What if you sent an equity letter to every one of your previous sellers saying happy anniversary? At this time of the year, you may be interested in the value of your home, and you'll want to make sure you have the right insurance properly on your home. Please call me if you would like an evaluation. So now you're making them reach out. You gave them a gift, but they have to reach out to get it. Don't just send it to them. Make them ask for it. Okay, send them an anniversary card on the anniversary of, their home. Always do a birthday card or some sort of a greeting wishing them a happy birthday. Remember, it's branding and it's a touch and it's a touch. So in your database, are you putting in the anniversary date, and also are you putting in their birthday? True story. Benny Sinisi, a great agent in Florida, or excuse me, in Houston, Texas. He calls everybody on their birthday. True story. He told me, he goes, usually I call him in the morning. He has a great voice, so he sings happy birthday. And it's like, trust me, I'm not singing happy birthday to anybody, not with this voice. But he does that. And then he said, here's the story. He goes, I called this guy and I didn't do it in the morning. I got there at 5 o'clock. And he said, Benny, that's the nicest thing. He goes, my entire family forgot it's my birthday today. Do you think that's a client for life for Benny? Absolutely, without a doubt. And I'm a big proponent of a VIP lunch. Who gave you a referral, who's done multiple transactions with you, who might be an influencer for you. What if next year you have it scheduled a VIP brunch? Now, I used to do it at a hotel in a room, and we had it a buffet. And I said, please come before you do your holiday shopping from 10 to 12. It's a holiday brunch and I have a great gift for you. Now, they had to RSVP and I had a limited number, like 25, sometimes 50. And they would come. It was a way for me to see them. They walk in, have champagne and, mimosa, whatever, with orange juice, have a buffet, get a gift, goodbye. And I counted on every single one of them giving me a referral or doing some sort of transaction with me. Housewarming parties, I think, are excellent for you to think about. Excellent for you to think about. Okay, next slide. Okay. So respectful of your time, these calls are 30 minutes. I'm Monica at monicareynolds.com. I have a lot of training programs. If you're interested, reach out. We'll make sure you get on the mailing list. I do a lot of other free trainings during the year. So if you want involved in any of those trainings, make sure you reach out to me at monicareynolds.com. You will get the slides. And if there's something else that you absolutely have that's not on the slides, then we're happy to provide that. Again, thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy everything, and happy Hanukkah. And I hope to see you down the road next year. 2025, that's your year. The market is changing. You just have to show up and have an incredible work ethic, and you will absolutely reach your dreams. Thanks, everybody. See you down the road.